How does testosterone actually work? Well, testosterone is a lipophilic molecule, which essentially means that it is attracted to other fatty acids. It regulates many different functions of the body. But how does the body actually regulate this testosterone homeostasis? Well, this is actually accomplished via a feedback loop, known as the hypothalamic pituitary gonadal axis, or short for HPG axis. This axis depends on three different organs: the testicles, the anterior pituitary gland, and the hypothalamus. This essentially functions as the hypothalamus sends HNR hormone to the pituitary gland, which will then, under stimulus, release the LH hormone, short for luteinizing hormone, which will then go to the testicles and stimulate the release of testosterone. This testosterone will then go back to those two glands, the hypothalamus and the pituitary gland, and signal it to stop releasing those hormones and essentially keep it at bay, right? It will maintain this essential concentration of testosterone in the bloodstream. Testosterone has different functions throughout the entire body, such as those associated with male characteristics throughout puberty, such as muscle growth, changes in skin and hair throughout the entire body, height, and vocal changes such as those seen in deepening of the voice. But how does this actually work at a molecular level? Well, if we look down into the microscope, we'll actually see that the testicles have or are made of these different little tubes known as seminiferous tubules. And these seminiferous tubules have the job of producing spermatozoa, or in other words, sperm. You don't really have to know that much into depth. All you have to know is that there's cells outside that stimulate the cells to produce sperm, and the cells outside are the ones that produce testosterone, and they're known as Leydig cells. And essentially, when this testosterone is produced, it will go into the bloodstream. Once in the bloodstream, it will make its way into different tissues throughout the entire body, such as muscle cells in this case. Once they make it past the cell wall, because of their size, they're able to do that, they will essentially undergo three different phases. They can become estrogen, DHT, or testosterone. Now, we're going to focus on testosterone, as 87.7% of it actually does go into testosterone, and this is where the anabolic effect of testosterone. It will be taken in by the AR, which is essentially known as the androgen receptor. You can think of this as essentially like a little taxi, right? And that will take you into the nucleus. And the fuel of the taxi is the ATP. I don't know if you heard that before, but it's the currency of the cell. You can think of it as fuel. And all it does is it goes this process called phosphorylation, which is just a fancy word for losing a phosphate group, or in other words, just becoming ADP and fuel, right? It's just fuel for the taxi. It will go into the nucleus, where it will actually make its way to a piece of DNA known as the androgen receptor element. Once it sticks or binds to this androgen receptor element, it will sit right next to the Tata box, which is the promoter, and it will tell a polymerase known as RNA polymerase to start coding for this mRNA. And this mRNA, what it does, goes into a ribosome, and it will essentially start producing, through translation of this mRNA, new proteins. And these new proteins are essentially what gives rise to this growth, or this muscle growth as we all know it. So we know that many people like this hormone because it results in muscle growth, muscle strength, and resistance, right? And we've seen that people who abuse the steroids or this testosterone actually result in insane gains, such as 2 times the muscle growth over periods of time, muscle strength, 130% muscle strength, and 120% resistance. However, there are side effects as anything else in biology, and in this case is a negative feedback loop. So remember the feedback loop I explained to you. So remember how the hypothalamus communicates with the pituitary gland and with the testes. However, when this HNR hormone and this LH hormone are disrupted, it will essentially decrease the size of the testes and will essentially shut down and damage the glands completely beyond repair. So additional side effects also include acne, mood swings, fatigue, restlessness, anxiety, trouble sleeping, decreased sperm count, and impotence. And longer term use actually leads to aggressive behaviors, depression, paranoia, delusion, heart attacks, stroke, kidney failure, tumors in the liver, tumors in the prostate, blood-borne diseases from injection use. Basically, don't abuse it. Use only under medical supervision. And if you do choose to use it, right, if you choose to pursue your bodybuilding career, there is nothing wrong with that. Everybody can use it as they wish. However, I do recommend you use it under medical supervision. I want you to do regular blood work, right, so that improves lipid profiles among other different enzymes in liver toxicity. So look at your liver, your kidneys, your heart, and yeah, just do regular checkups. Thanks for watching. Please beat the absolute hell out of that subscribe button, because I will be covering many more anabolic steroids and their functions. And yeah, see you later.